At most American grocery stores, a fully cooked seasoned rotisserie chicken costs the same, or less, than the raw one a few steps away. The store added labor, spices, electricity, and 90 minutes of roasting, then charged you less. That math doesn't work. But here's something that might surprise you. That low price doesn't start in the oven. It starts with the chicken. The bird in that bag is 6 weeks old, not 6 months. 6 weeks, egg to shelf. No other meat animal in America grows that fast. And that speed wasn't natural. It was engineered. Who engineered that chicken? And why does every grocery store accept making almost nothing when they sell it? In 1944, Howard Pierce, poultry research director at A&P, America's largest grocery chain, told an industry conference the business needed a bird with a breast like a turkey. That launched the Chicken of Tomorrow contest. USDA and A&P co-sponsored it in 1946. Breeders from 44 states entered. In 48, Charles Vantris from California won. His bird became the blueprint for modern broiler lines. Now here's the kicker. In 1925, a chicken needed 16 weeks to reach market weight. Today's bird does it in 6. That gap started with one contest and 70 years of selective breeding. By the mid-80s, chicken was the cheapest protein in America. Cheap enough that Stephen Kolo and Arthur Coors opened Boston Chicken in Newton, Massachusetts in '85. Rotisserie bird, mashed potatoes, steamed vegetables. Thanksgiving without the cooking. A decade later, 1,200 locations. Then grocery chains realized rotisserie chicken could solve dinner right now. Through the 90s, Costco, Kroger, Walmart started installing ovens in-store. Cheaper, more convenient, no extra trip. By '98, Boston Market filed for bankruptcy. Grocery stores won, but keeping a cooked chicken priced below a raw one meant controlling everything, from how many grams the bird weighs to how long it sits under a heat lamp. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Not every chicken qualifies. Every rotisserie program needs birds in a target weight range. Too small, not enough meat. Too large, it won't sit evenly on the spit. One side chars, the other stays pale. The breed behind nearly all of them is the Cornish Cross, descended from those contest-winning lines. 6 to 8 weeks, hatch to slaughter. Heritage breeds need 16 weeks for the same size. On the processing floor, birds hang from a shackle line and pass through automated scales. Hit the target, move forward, miss it, get rerouted into parts and fillets. But here's the thing. Before any chicken hits the oven, most chains treat the meat one of 3 ways. Inject it with an enhancement solution, soak it in brine, or season the outside. The goal's the same. Lock in moisture, build flavor, guarantee consistency. A chicken spinning at high heat for 90 minutes loses water fast without treatment. The recipes aren't even close. Costco's Kirkland uses water, salt, sodium phosphate, and carrageenan. Kroger's Simple Truth goes lighter. Fewer additives, much lower sodium. Whole Foods Organic skips phosphate and carrageenan entirely. Here's what those do. When a chicken's slaughtered, proteins in the muscle fibers contract and squeeze moisture out. Sodium phosphate blocks that contraction, holds water inside the fibers. Carrageenan, extracted from seaweed, keeps that water distributed evenly instead of pooling in the tray. The result? Enhanced chicken weighs more, looks plumper, tastes juicier. But part of that weight is a solution, not meat. And that is why the most important part of the chicken may be printed on the back of the bag. Flip any rotisserie bag, Costco, Walmart, Sam's Club. Back label, small print. There's a line listing the enhancement solution. Each chain words it differently, but it's always there. Birds load onto spits and slide into industrial rotisserie ovens. USDA requires 165 degrees Fahrenheit internally. Below that, salmonella survives. Most grocery ovens run 325 to 350 degrees for about 90 minutes. You know that moment. You pull the chicken apart and the skin cracks. That light crunch, steam rises. Garlic and pepper hit your face before you've even thought about it. That wasn't luck. It's solution, temperature, and roasting time collapsing into one sensory second you'll carry to the next purchase. After the oven, chickens go to hot holding trays under heat lamps. Most chains allow 2 to 4 hours. Costco pulls at 2. Unsold birds get broken down. Meat goes into soups, pot pies, chicken salad. Same process everywhere: sizing, seasoning, roasting, holding. But the formula inside each chicken isn't. Rotisserie chicken is one of the oldest traffic drivers in American grocery stores. Same logic as putting milk at the back. The bird sits where you walk past everything else. That smell drifting down the aisle isn't accidental. It's retail design. Margin on the chicken is thin or negative, but margin on what fills your cart, wine, salad, bread, covers it. Walmart, Kroger, Sam's Club, every major chain runs the same playbook, but nobody pushes it further than Costco. In 2015, CFO Richard Galanti said the company would forgo $30 to $40 million in margin annually to hold the price at $4.99. Then, Costco built its own plant, Lincoln Premium Poultry in Fremont, Nebraska. $450 million. Over 100 million birds a year. Fiscal year 25. 157 million chickens sold globally. Everyone at a loss. The process is standardized. The language on the label isn't. Same additives, sodium phosphate, carrageenan, appear under different names depending on the chain. Some labels say, enhanced with a solution. Some list ingredients without context. Some call it seasoning when the liquid was pumped inside the meat. The clearest case, for years, Costco's Kirkland label read no preservatives, while listing sodium phosphate and carrageenan. In January 26, a class action alleged both function as preservatives. Costco responded that both support moisture retention, texture, and consistency during cooking. Both FDA and USDA approved. Costco removed the claim. A federal court is now deciding where moisture retention ends and preservation begins. So let's go back to that grocery shelf. Next time you pick up a rotisserie chicken, any chain, flip it over. 3 things worth finding. Enhancement statement, whether liquid was pumped in. Ingredient list, phosphate, carrageenan, or just salt. And sodium per serving. Sam's Club, 550 milligrams per 3 ounces. Costco, 460. Walmart, 250. Kroger Simple Truth, 40. Whole Foods, 70 to 120. Same product, same name, same heat lamp. The gap between 550 and 40 is more than 13 times. You know that Cornish Cross was bred over 70 years to grow fast and cheap. You know the enhancement solution keeps the bird juicy and drives sodium 13-fold apart between chains. You know every grocery store sells it at a loss because your cart fills up on the way. Enhancement solutions are legal, safe, USDA approved. The question isn't good or bad. It's knowing what you're buying. $5 or $12. The difference isn't random. It's the record of every decision from hatchery to heat lamp. And every grocery store writes that record its own way. The cooked chicken still costs less than the raw one. Still 6 weeks old. 70 years of breeding keep it cheap. Every store still writes the label its own way. That's the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there's something you'd like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.